Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Great Let's Talk About It podcast. You guys already know who it is. It is Tony Lynch, and we are your number one podcast for bringing you conversations around death, dying, and grief, and bringing you amazing people to come and share their stories with you to help you navigate the world of death, dying, and grief. And so, I have an amazing guest for you guys today. Now, before I bring her up here, I would like to say that is this is your first time tuning in, and you're tuning in anywhere other than YouTube. Do me a favor, head over to that YouTube channel. It's scrolling across the bottom down there. You guys already see it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time that we drop a new episode. And then if you know anybody who can benefit from the conversations that we have, please share this along with them. Now, if you're one of those people that's going to come in, hit the subscribe button, then unsubscribe, don't do that. You kind of mess up my algorithm when you do that. And, maybe this podcast may not be for you. So, don't waste your time, don't waste mine. And we're definitely going to get along. All right. Other than that, guys, before I bring up my next guest, I would like to say that this is for educational purposes only. Right. And so now, without further ado, you guys help me welcome the legend, Miss Lacole Smith. Lacole, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Ah, man, the pleasure is mine as well. Thank you. Thank you again. Now, before we get started, tell people who you are, where you're from, and about the work that you do.
Well, my name is Lacole Smith. I am from Louisiana. A lot of people call it the boot. And I am the CEO and founder of Motivational Talk Dialogues and Show, which is a show that I bring on authors and entrepreneurs to tell their story. And I am also the CEO and founder of AL Publishing and Consulting, which is a
Mm,
one-stop shop publishing company that we handle everything from you from the time you decide to pull out that piece of paper until you get ready to hit the podcast and the stages. So
mm.
all wrapped up in one.
I love it. I love it. And then, like we're gonna talk afterwards because I'm kind of finishing up on some stuff and I'm about ready to go to the next stage. For anybody else, you guys already know her information is down below. Reach out to her if you guys are looking to publish a book. She's amazing. She's truly amazing. Now let's get into your story. Let's get into your journey. Walk us through your
Okay. Okay, where you want me to start?
wow. You know what? The beginning is a good place.
Okay, so I guess it kind of started more so with my accident that I had in 2011.
Hmm.
Um, I was hit by two 18-wheelers. So one hit me from behind, knocked me into the other one coming head on, and they told me I wasn't gonna walk again. So, that was kind of discouraging. That was kind of upsetting.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I don't know how to deal with this. And, you have to go through the process. You have to open your mind to things. And when you're laying up there for 3.5 months,
Hmm.
they didn't really want me to move. They didn't want me to do too much. You have a lot of time to think. You have a
Right.
lot of time to take in, look over your life and the things that you was doing. And I was a little rough around the edges then, so I guess God was telling me it's time for you to slow down and find some patience. And that accident actually did that for me. I was down for 6 months, but I was able to get up and start walking around 3.5 months and moving around. Um, so I made it through the accident. I went back to work, and in 2016, I lost my mom, and that crushed me. Um, Not only was she my mom, she was my best friend.
Hmm.
She would call my phone every day at 9 o'clock, every single day at 9 o'clock. And, you know, just to know that she was gone and I wasn't gonna get that phone call and I wasn't gonna hear her voice anymore. I just felt like I had lost everything. Yes, I had my family, I had my children, I had um the people around me, my fiance, but it wasn't the same. Losing a mother is hard. Then I turn around 2023, I lost my dad,
Mm.
and I'm a daddy's girl. So I was like, okay, I know the symptoms, I know the signs. I'm not gonna fall into depression this time because I know what to look out for. But it hurts so bad
Mm-hmm.
till you almost feel like you can't breathe. Like like the world around you is still moving, but you're in the same spot. You're not moving. You know,
Yeah.
the world is going on around you and nothing else is going on. And you still have to function in this process because you still have to go to work. You still have to do the things that you need to do. And you still have to deal with the pain that you're dealing with.
Right.
And you have to make sure that you're doing it to the best of your ability. And it's hard. It's very hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I want to say thank you for being strong. Because it losing both your parents, you're not taught, and I can relate to those losses on such a deeper level. And there's nothing like I can. The only way that I can explain it, the loss of your parents make you feel like an orphan in the world because everything that you are so used to, the guidance, the being the conversations and being able to get up and say, hey mom, hey dad, and things like that, right? And not have that.
Right.
It makes you, it's as crazy as it sounds, it makes you feel like an orphan in the world, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you just somebody just put you in foster care, and foster care is the world, right? You know what I'm saying? And you're
Right.
looking for somebody to adopt you. Like, hold on, anybody out there want to adopt me, right? Right? And
Mhm.
so that, I mean, we can laugh about it, and things like that because grief is one of those things. It will take you down the rabbit hole. It will change your world. It will give you a different outlook on what you thought the world is, and then it'll tell you what it's going to be, right? And you just kind of
Right.
like kind of grow and navigate it from that point on. Hopefully, some of us get through it, and well, not get through it. So hopefully, the goal is we grow, right,
Yes.
and we learn how to appreciate things, um,
Yes.
and find something positive to do with it, like in relation to other people, right? And you
Right.
also had to, like, and like going back, you've had to compile the accident too, right? You know what I'm saying? The being hit because you got hit by two 18 wheelers. I told you this every time when you told me that the first time. I was like, hold on, you realize you said you got hit by two 18 wheelers. Most people don't even survive the first one.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you had to
Yeah.
go through two of them back to back.
Back to back. Because
Girl,
one hit me, the first one hit me and kind of pushed me down the highway, and the second one hit me and pushed me back. And I was actually turned in the opposite direction of the way I was going when
mm.
I stopped, when the automobile stopped. And the motor was on the ground. The hood of the automobile I was in was on the front of the second truck. So
Mm.
that's how blessed I am to be here and how
Yeah,
grateful I am that God decided to spare my life.
well, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's a turning point. It made me think about how good God is, and it also made me think, why me? Why did He decide to save me? Um, because He could have took me right then, but yet He let me stay. I could have been broken up. I could have been torn up. I could have not been able to function at all
Yeah.
and been, bedridden. But yet I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm doing things that He want me to do. And in that moment, you don't know that He has all these things for you to do because you just feel depleted. You feel empty.
Hmm.
Um, I had a daughter that has um, cerebral palsy and she wasn't walking, and I was the one that was carrying her around and doing stuff for her, and to not be able to do that, my heart was broken. But my family stepped up, they helped out, and I got through that. So I went through a little depression phase with
Hmm.
with that, but it wasn't as bad as when I lost my mom. Um, and I think everybody has to deal with grief differently.
Mm-hmm.
but you just have to know which way to deal with it. Or, some people can go instantly and talk to people. That's not what I did. I wish I would have,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't because I thought I can handle this. I was the oldest sister of two siblings, and you just feel like you can handle it. You feel like I've done all of this. I raised my kids pretty much by myself. I've done so much by myself till I felt like, this is gonna be a breeze, and it wasn't. I
Yeah.
actually had to break down and go talk to somebody so that I could understand what was going on with me.
Right.
Um, and a lot of times they tell you, oh, you can't put the business in the street. You don't need to go talk to nobody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. And whoever's telling you don't talk to somebody and get some help, they're leading you down the wrong road. You know, Even if it's somebody that you just trust and it's not a doctor, you have to get those emotions out. And another way that I do that is by journaling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I don't feel like I can talk to a doctor or a friend or my husband, I journal and I put exactly how I feel on a piece of paper. The good, the bad, the ugly, the strong, the weak. I write it down.
Yeah.
And after a certain amount of time, I go back and read it and I see how much I've advanced and how far
Right.
I've come
Right.
from that moment and those feelings that I was in. So
See,
it's a process. It's a process.
it's definitely a process, right? And sometimes you never know what that process is until you actually have to get thrown into it, right? And
Right.
I'm right there with you. Those that be like, oh, don't put your business out there in the street. So what am I supposed to do with it? Am I just supposed to suck it up and let's okay, tell me how I'm supposed to deal with this. Please give me some
Exactly.
pointers. Give me something. Or you just gotta deal with it. Uh-uh.
Uh-uh.
Stop doing that.
Uh-uh.
See, everybody, look, I really dislike when people do that. For the simple fact of everybody says that until they see you hooked on drugs,
Yeah.
drinking your life away, angry all the time,
Right.
or sometimes worse, right? Oh, I don't know
Right.
what their problem is. Everybody has that misunderstood. Like they are, all of that is good, and then when something happens, they got the gossip about that. Why you told me not to put my business out there, but you gonna put my business out there.
You're gonna put my business out there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So now I'm a drug addict. Huh? You know what I'm saying? Like you told me not to put my business out there, so you gonna do it for me? Man, come on, look, you already know, right? You already know. So
Yeah, I'd rather be the one put it out there than somebody else put it out there and they put
because
it
you
out
know
there wrong.
they're gonna be spreading rumors. You already know that. It ain't look by the time they get done telling your business, you done became friends with three spider monkeys and a roach. All right. You know,
Spider
you,
monkey.
yeah, come on, look, you already know. They were like, yeah, I saw Lacole, she was over there hanging out with the spider monkeys and the roach was on the top of the branch. I don't know what they was over there doing, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's never nothing like
exactly.
what you was doing, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I had a rumor, somebody spread a rumor on me one time. They told me I was riding through the forest on a rhinoceros. I was like, I don't even know where the rhinoceros came from, but I was there,
Right. Right.
right?
That's what they saw. Now, what were they
Yeah,
doing that they saw a rhinoceros? That's the
yeah.
question.
I was like, apparently I'm the beast master. I don't, where it came from, but we was there though. Uh, I don't know where I was at, but yeah, which leads me to your next question, right? Because you having to go through all of this, was your family supportive when you got into your accident? Like did
They
they
were.
they were
They
and
were
and
very supportive.
from your own um from your own vision from what you saw, how did they deal with it? With the thought of you being in the hospital and having to go through that right there, and your husband, your child.
I think, honestly, it was harder on them than they allowed me to see. Because most of the time they were trying to be strong for me so that I
Hmm.
wasn't upset, so that I wasn't worrying, so that I wasn't um feeling bad about everything. So they never really show their emotions to me. But I know from just dealing with stuff that they had the emotions. They had it had to be sometimes they probably was ducked off in a corner and probably crying and worrying and will my mom be able to get up and walk? Will she ever be back to the same, thing?
Yeah.
Um, you know, even for my husband, am I gonna have to take on all this by myself because she's not gonna be able to do it? So I think a lot of times when we're going through things, we forget about the people around us or dealing with it too, even though they're dealing with it in a different way, in a different perspective, because they're trying to be strong for us. And we
Right.
forget how, we forget that the strong has a weak point too. And
Ain't that the truth?
many times, and I noticed that, like dealing with the grief and dealing with depression, I was always considered the strong one when it came to things and certain things. And I know for myself that I had the weak spots. I had the weak points.
Right.
So that's why I started drinking and I was hiding that I was drinking because I didn't want people to see my weakness.
Right.
So everybody has a weak point. No matter how strong they look, no matter how strong they seem, everybody has a weak point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just
Now,
a matter of how they deal with it and how they show it.
now we often, you're not talked about this. Grief is such a shared human experience, right?
Hmm. Right.
Although it is an individual thing, I think sometimes people forget that. And
Hmm.
you having your siblings, having a relationship with your parents, how did your siblings react to the loss of your mom and your dad?
Well, my sister, she shows her emotions a lot. So, I can see her emotions. I can see her hurt. I can see, the process of what she was going through.
Mhm.
Now, my brother, and they're twins, my brother, on the other hand, he handles stuff differently. Um, he doesn't show his emotions, and he's not going to talk about his emotions. Like, he's not going to, everything is going to always be okay, even when it's not okay.
Right, right,
So, he was always saying he was okay, even when he wasn't okay. Um, and I can only imagine how he feels and what he's doing because he was actually with my dad when he passed. So I wasn't at home with either times when they passed. So I wasn't there to see them take their last breath, but I can only imagine how he felt in that instance
right.
to watch your parent basically slip away from you. Um, but he doesn't talk about it. But I know he was really, really close to my mom, and I do know he hasn't been the same. I don't think none of us been the same since my mom passed.
Yeah.
Um, and then it was it was still different with my dad. But my brother in that same week lost two people that he was close to because on Valentine's Day he lost his father-in-law, and then on the 16th of February we lost our dad. So he got hit twice back to back, and all of our families were close, so we took a double hit when my dad passed.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just basically now we're swimming in the ocean trying to find the bank, and the bank is not there yet. That's all I can say. Yeah.
But if you think about it, right, the emotional ad, the emotions that come along with grief, they can be like a whole freaking whirlpool in that ocean, right? And you can find yourself drowning. Now, and I say that to say this, right? Because we talked about this. I used to be really bad alcoholic, and I was really good at drinking. I really, It really was. I used to drink to a point to where you couldn't even tell when I was drunk. I got look. I
Look,
was
I
good at
think I
drinking.
was there too. I was
Yeah,
there
I
too.
was good at drinking, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like, let me have these six shooters of those 99s over there, right? The strongest little shooter. I used to drink six of those, go back to the store, grab another 10, get a case of beer, and probably a liter of tequila. And because I
Wow.
knew I was coming back within like the next hour. That's how bad I was. And I knew I
I
was
wasn't
wrong.
quite that bad now. I
Oh
wasn't
no,
quite
girl,
that
I was
bad.
bad. Look, I was bad. The,
I,
the, the liquor store told me I needed help. That's how bad it
oh
was.
Lord.
They said you need rehab. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, man, just sell me the alcohol. They was like, we don't want to, but here you go. That's bad when the people at the liquor store don't want to buy you, don't want to sell you nothing. It got to a point I had
Exactly.
to go to another whole new liquor store across town.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, yeah. So I was pretty bad. I was pretty good at drinking, and I did that on a day to day basis. That's how bad I was, right? Um, but I didn't know.
Right.
Like most of us that get involved in alcohol and or drugs and things like that, we always have that term in the back of our head, just a little bit, right? Just a little bit to take the
Hmm.
edge off, a little bit to numb
Yeah.
numb myself and stuff like that, so I can get some sleep. Because those sleepless nights ain't no joke. They ain't no joke, and you just want a little something to help you get to sleep for a little bit, right? The- And
Right.
and, and that way you're not, you don't feel like your head is about to bust open with tears, and things like that. So I want to get your thoughts on that as well, because um, did you go down a rabbit hole with alcohol, and if so, when did you decide to start climbing yourself back out?
I actually did go down that rabbit hole. And basically I felt like I got so deep in the hole till I could look up and see myself.
Mm,
That's how bad it was. And I just got to the point where I didn't want to drink anymore. I didn't want to be the person that my husband was telling me I was because I didn't see it.
right, right.
Um, so and I didn't want my children to see me as the person that he was saying I was becoming
Mm,
because I had young daughters and I have all girls. So I didn't want that for my children. So I had to, I made a decision that I was going to turn it around and I didn't know how I was going to turn it around. So I created a group called Motivational Talk and I just started putting my feelings in that group and I invited two of my friends and we kind of bounced ideas off of each other and um the more we talked about it, the more we did. They started inviting people in and we kind of started um everybody was sharing their feelings and their emotions. So my focus became the show versus the alcohol.
mm.
Well the group versus the alcohol. So my focus was making sure that I was putting something motivational in the group, making sure that I was expressing myself in the group, making sure that they were able to say the things that they needed to say and that I was able to answer them in the group. So the
Mhm.
more I did that, the less I thought about the alcohol. Um, that was a big, big, huge help for me. And I'm grateful for all of the ladies that are in that group that basically helped pull me out of that hole
Mhm.
because I climbed out of that hole on the words from the people in that group.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it's an amazing feeling to have a community that knows that you're hurting, but they don't treat you like you're hurting. They
Right.
treat you like you're fine, but they encourage you to be better. And that's what that group gave me.
Okay.
And from there I just continued to go up. I continued to, say, hey, I want to be a better person. I want to do more. I want to help people in my community that are dealing with the same things that I'm dealing with. And it even got to the point where I wrote a book about everything that I've been through,
Mm.
and that helped me get a lot of things out. And actually putting it in word made me see how bad I was
Yeah.
because I didn't see it in that moment. But as I was writing about it and I was saying the things that I was going through, and I was like, I was pretty bad. I was gone,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I was able to turn it around. Um, Not just for myself, but for my children, for my grandchildren, for my husband,
Hmm.
for my siblings, because at this point, when I wrote my book, my dad was still here. He was still alive. But my book came out and I was able to give him my book, but he didn't live to read it. Um,
Yeah.
so it's a lot that goes on. It's a lot of feelings and emotions. It makes you think. Had I wrote it sooner when I was supposed to write it, when God put it on my heart to write it, had I wrote it
Hmm.
then, he'd have had a chance to read it. But everything happens for a reason and a purpose, and everything happens the way God wanted to happen. Um, and that only encouraged me to make sure that each day I I live it to the fullest. Each
Hmm.
day that I try to um compliment people. I try to encourage people. I try to make sure that my friends and family are okay. I don't do it every day,
Right.
but
Right.
I try to do it more than I used to.
Right.
But it just opens your eyes to so much when you lose the ones that are closest to you.
Yeah.
Um, you look at things differently. Your perspective is different. Your
Mm.
mindset is different. So yeah.
That's very true. I think that's what grief does. So I think that's the purpose of it. It's showing you the life that you had, right? Um, in so many ways, it demands that you remember them. You remember the love that you've had, right? And most people look at grief and they go, "Man, this is such a sad thing." I don't think they really understand the totality or the depthness of grief, right? And what
Right.
it's really honestly doing. Grief is healing. It, it,
It is.
it tells you, hey, trust me, right? And in turn, like most of us that go through it, we don't understand it because it's such a taboo thing. Oh, this person's grieving. You got to watch out for them. They got to do this, that, and another, right? And what I
Right.
found was when my son passed away, I never had the thought of taking my life, right? I was like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna get through it, right? You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. Look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I was wrong. I did not get through it. I could not understand it. What to save my doggone life, and the pain was so crazy that that it was just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? What do I get from here? What do I go from here? What are the next steps? And I had nobody to come and say, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, here's some tools, here's some resources. Reach out to these individuals. Instead, I got a psychiatrist that didn't know nothing. So I had to ask him. I was like, "How are you going to give me the tools and everything? You don't understand what I'm going through, right?"
Exactly.
And every loss is significant. I never take anything from anybody, whether it be your sibling, your parents, your child, your friend, your grandmother. Hey, the relationship that you have with them is the thing that I cherish the most. So you know what I'm saying? What I may think may be the worst loss in my life and everything, yours may be the worst one in your life. I'm not good. Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I ain't here to compare. I'm here to
Right.
listen. I'm here to walk with you and all the whatever you need from me. That's what I want to give you, right? You know what I'm saying? All
Exactly.
about respect, though. All about respect, right? And letting people begin to speak and see their own truth in that journey. Now, when we talk about grief, what are your thoughts on it, right? Because now you've done some healing, you've got to see life from a different perspective around grief. And all the things, the addiction, the alcoholism and things like that. What is your perspective on grief now?
Actually, it's a lot different now. My
Hmm.
perspective on grief as of today is elevation and growth. And I say that because um, my grief has elevated me not only to learn more about, um, my dad had cancer, so learn more about cancer, learn more to
Hmm.
educate myself. So, not only am I elevating, but I'm educating myself and those around me
Hmm.
on the things that I've been through. So my perspective since my dad passed is elevation and education and knowledge. When my mom passed, um, it made me grow up to be an adult because at that point you always was their baby. No matter how old you were, you always mama's baby. You always, you can always, like you say, you can always go to mama and pick up the phone and,
Hmm.
cry to her, talk to her, whatever.
Right.
And when that's gone, and, being the older sibling, sometimes you end up being in that position. So it made me grow up. Um, so different people gonna have different perspectives depending on where they are in that process. Um, and who they have around them, who's in their circle. So I um I handle it better now,
Hmm.
but it's still something that hurts, but I can control the emotions around it. Um,
Hmm.
I can tell when, that little depression trying to ease in. I can tell when that aggravation ease trying to ease in, because you can feel it. You can
Yeah.
tell the difference because you pay more attention. Um, and the more you have to deal with grief, unfortunately, the more educated you become on
Yeah.
the subject. So that's kind of my take on it.
I love that. I definitely love that because I think, a lot of us, um, we have a very similar take when it comes down to that, right? Depending on the sort of grief that you've had to experience. But the educational part has always been universal across the board because it's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Because depending on how that individual passed, you want to know what happened. You want to know the what ifs, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and things like that. Because I think in a lot of ways we're searching for answers, right? You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Could I have done differently? May had I educated myself about this sooner, right? You know what I'm saying? I could have been able to do X, Y, and Z, right? And
Right.
then you find out in so many ways that maybe you couldn't have.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just how life was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And and you go through the motions of it. A lot of anticipatory grief when you're in, especially understanding the terminal illness aspect of it. Now, understanding, having a better understanding of cancer and things like that, does it help you show up for other people that are going through something similar?
Definitely. When I talk to people that are dealing with it, because everybody hears the word cancer and they feel like it's a death sentence,
Hmm.
and that is not always so. Um, it's all about getting the help that you need, and when you get it, you know, um, if they have people that's been in stage 4 that actually go into remission, which that's a word I don't really care to use, but they go into a healing, and the cancer is removed for whatever aspect because God allows it to be moved. But you just have to have your focus and your mindset. Like, I can't tell people about all the types of cancers because I haven't dealt with all the types of cancer.
Right,
So
right,
all I can do is advise you on what I know about
right.
and advise you on the the way you need to go and do things. Make sure you talk to your doctor. Make sure you're getting your checkups. Make sure if you feel different or something looks different, that you get it checked and don't wait until it's blown out of proportion and then, you know, you go and check on it and it's almost too late.
Right.
Because there are simple things that happen in changing your body that are symptoms of and signs of not just cancer, but anything that could be going on with you.
Mhm.
So don't hesitate to go and get it checked. Don't try to doctor yourself and oh, I'm gonna take this over the counter medicine or I'm gonna do some like even with COVID, people you hear people saying, well, I'm gonna go make me a hot toddy. Well, that hot toddy may work with a cold, but it's not gonna work with COVID. So
Right.
you gotta be knowledgeable on the things, and you gotta make sure that when you're telling people things that you're not just telling them something just to say, oh, I know about this, but make sure that you're telling them something that's gonna help them and not hurt them.
Yeah, yeah. And I totally agree. I don't know if you saw me or not, but when you was talking about going to the doctor, I was like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. I do not go to the doctor.
Uh-oh.
I won't do it. I will not do it. Right? I think the last time I went, I had to go to the dentist. They had to pull this tooth back here, and the dentist looked at me like I was strange. He said, he said, you know, do you have a doctor that we can send a prescription over to? I said, no. He goes, what do you mean you ain't got a doctor? I said, I ain't got no doctor. He goes, well, do you have somebody when you go do checkups? I said, no, I don't do checkups. He looked at me and was like, so you don't go and get your blood pressure checked? You don't go and get your cholesterol checked? I was like, no. He goes, you don't get your prostate checked? He's running down the whole list. And I was like, I don't do any of that. That doctor looked at me and was like, huh?
Mm.
I said, no, I haven't been to the doctor since I was 8.
Oh my goodness. I'm
I
gonna
will
need
not
you to
do
know
it.
better.
No, I will not do it. Well, look, this is gonna sound real bad when I say this. But they the ones who did this, right? Doctors are the ones who did this. Everybody I know that ever gone to the doctor has never come back out.
Uh-oh.
No. When my son, when my son got overdosed, went to the hospital. These people mistreated us so bad. I said, nope, never again. Right? He had an overdose because his pharmacist mixed his medication wrong. Did you know the doctors treated him for everything except for what he was in there for? And
Oh
his mom
wow.
and I was like, no, you don't understand. It's this. He needs to be treated for this. They treated him for everything else. And then before even giving him the treatment to it, they came to us with a misdiagnosis saying that, oh, he may not make it through the night. What? Only to have the doctor the next day that wasn't on duty come in and go, oh no, that's a typical overdose, right? Why do y'all didn't treat? I looked at the nurse and did like this. I was like, you
Mm.
do realize you're about to get sued, right? You do realize this. And then 9 months later, my son ended up in the hospital and then come back out. I'm sorry. I have a really big trust
Yeah.
issues with the doctors. The second time, the second time that they really concreted in my mistrust of doctors is when my mother went in for a major stroke and then come back out. I said, you
Mm-mm.
know what? No. I mean, I already had trust issues, right? I got definitely trust issues. No, no, I don't trust you. And because I did go to the doctor one time, and the doctor and I have a thing with needles, and he snuck he distracted me while his nurse stuck me in the butt with some stuff to make me go to sleep. Now I don't know what it was and everything. And he could tell me that he did something. He could tell me that he was treating me and everything, but I was asleep. I don't know. I don't trust that. No, I don't trust that at all. Don't stick a needle in my butt. No, tricked me. They tricked me, Lacole. I ain't got time for all of that. No, I got issues. I got trust issues.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it.
So you self-medicate, basically.
No, I don't even self-medicate. I just do everything to avoid not getting hurt.
That makes sense.
Yeah. If I go into a crowd and I know 3 people got guns and 4 people got baseball bats, I'm not going into the crowd. No, 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 no. Why would I do that? Right? I will call somebody. I'm telling you, I'll call somebody. No, 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 no. You don't understand. They're gonna do something. They're just not gonna do it to me. All right? It's not gonna happen. If 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 I'm on the bridge and the water is high, I'm getting off the bridge. It's really just that simple. If I'm driving down the street and I know that there's 3 drunk drivers over there, I'm going the opposite way. I'm avoiding this. No, no. If I get a cold, like my grandma used to tell me, lay your butt down somewhere and go to sleep. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my chances, right? No, no. I have trust issues.
I'm gonna need you to find you somebody
Uh-uh.
that you can trust
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
that can diagnose you for what you need to be diagnosed for
I
or
don't need to
check
be
you out.
diagnosed with anything. They're gonna tell me that I'm crazy. And I've already done mental health treatment before. I don't need this problem. Okay? I don't need this problem. And I didn't even need mental health treatment. By the time I got done, I was being a therapist to the mental health person. I was like, would you like to lay down and tell me what's going on with you today? Yeah, totally reversed.
Oh, man.
Totally reversed. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Well, I can't say much. They have, I mean, you're not the only person that doesn't like, that doesn't like doctors or doesn't trust doctors. It goes a long way. And my thing is, I don't like the dentist. So that's my big issue. I don't trust nobody up in my mouth, uh, drilling and pulling and tugging. So, but I have to go. I like my teeth to be clean. I like, so
I do
you gotta
too.
suck it up or learn
Yeah,
how to do it yourself. One or the other. So
I'm not doing that. I mean, I'll go to the dentist when I need to, right? But if I don't need to, I'm not doing it. I'll take care of myself. My mama taught me how to take care of myself at a very early age. I'm not doing none of that. But and my biggest thing with doctors is right on the paperwork. It says practicing medicine. Who we practicing on? Because the last time I checked, I'm not a guinea pig. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna practice on me. I'll go get somebody that you know and let you practice on them. And we're gonna see what happens. If they grow horns or scales or something like that, we know that ain't for me. That ain't for
right.
me. Right?
That's
So we're gonna practice on the people that they love first. We're gonna see what happens. Right? When we start practicing medicine, then I'll go. I need some definite answers. I need some definite answers. We're not doing none of that.
well, you definitely got trust issues when it comes to medical field. So definitely that look, this is a battle I can't win. I can't even win this one. I can't even act
I
like I'm winning.
understand. Look, I get it. I get it. Like I said, I will come up with every excuse. But like, you need to go to the doctor. Like, you go first. You go first. Lead by example, damn it. Lead by example. Don't just try to talk me into
That's true. That's true. You know.
it.
And
Right,
everybody have their reasons and they
right,
why they
right.
do or don't do something. So definitely, you know,
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Like, I pay attention to other people. I do. Like, if you go in and you eat brownies or something and you start acting strange, I know I'm not eating the brownies. I'm not, it's really something's not right here, right? No, not doing that. I'm not gonna be a part of that crowd. No, not doing that. It's just not gonna happen. But like, okay, we're gonna get back into it. See, I had to. That was just funny. Like, no, not doing that. But no. So, what made you name the group How did you come up with the name for your Facebook group?
Motivational talk came from just wanting to motivate. So I wanted it to be a motivational talk group, like where you could talk out your issues, where you could express yourself, where you could say the things that you wanted to say and nobody was gonna judge you. So
Hmm.
that was one of the things. The only thing that I asked them to not use profanity. I asked them to, not be judgmental. Because this was a judge-free zone
Hmm.
where people can say how they felt and what they felt, and it wasn't judged, but you can agree to disagree.
Hmm.
Um, so that's kind of how that group was, and I actually still have that group. Um, and I still post in that group every day. So each morning they get something motivational. Um, Sometimes I'll pop some recipes in there just to keep them on their toes. Look, I found this good recipe. I'll pop that in there. Just something that's uplifting, that's not gonna have you sad or upset. Um,
Okay.
we have enough of that going on in the world that we don't
Mm,
need the extra. So
very
I
true.
wanted something that was gonna be inspiring and uplifting. Um, and then my separate group that's for everyone, which is motivational talk, dialogues, and show, is where I do
Mhm.
my show. And we just pretty much, I put some posts up there. I share other people podcasts. I share other people information. Um, Authors post on there. We have travel agents that post on there. So
Mhm.
it's a open billboard for you to talk and say the things that you want to say universally, and it's still a judge free zone. So I do stress that motivation is the upbeatness to everybody's drum. And
Mm, I like
if
that.
you're beating that motivational drum, it's kind of hard to get depressed. It's kind of hard to be sad because you're steady rolling, you're steady moving, you're steady trying to be upbeat. You know,
Yeah.
long as you're beating that drum, you're good. Now, once you stop beating that drum, you might need somebody to beat it for you for a little while because you're going through something. But keep that rhythm going. And, I just feel like motivation is the success to the world that we're in right now.
I love that. I love that. Because I tie that into what's going on in the world and the work that I do as well, right? Offering healing in or either pathways to healing, and just through experience, just through tools and resources, support, connection, um, with other individuals. So I'm a like for me, I'm a firm believer in when it comes down to men, surrounding men with other men, right? Because it's that just like how women surround themselves with other women, what I'm saying? It's that
Right.
old phrase, iron sharpens iron. Women sharpen men, women sharpen women, and men sharpen men, right? Because of the
Right.
relationship aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? If you can eliminate the competition, right, it becomes more personable.
Right.
And then you find that, what I'm saying, you have people that will hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, hey, you're
Exactly.
struggling with it, give me a call. Give me a call,
Mhm.
right? And that's what I love. I love seeing the sisterhood. I love seeing the brotherhood and things like that outside of the groups. And like pick up the phone and call somebody. Don't let I don't mind you pick up the phone, call me, but call the guy that's in the group with you that's literally right down the street from you that you didn't know was going through something similar, but now y'all know
Exactly.
together. Go do some fishing, but don't go to the bars. That's my rule. Don't go to the bars or anything like that. Have a barbecue, but go somewhere where you're not tempted, right?
Exactly.
And you can kind
Exactly.
of like be in the moment with each other. I mean, you've already crossed that line of vulnerability.
Hmm.
Now it's just a matter of just building, keeping that relationship, tightening up that relationship through the understanding that you have with each other, right?
Yeah.
And I've
Right.
seen a lot of healing come from that way, and so I'm a firm believer of, I'm a huge supporter of that as well. Now let's get into um, how you started your publishing company, because I find that fascinating, right? Because you told me one time before, like, me, I got tired of all of that crap. I started my own, like,
Well, it came from my first book. Um, and I'm just the type of person where, you know, I like Walmart because you can go in there and you can get pretty much everything that you can get. You can
hmm
get clothes, you can get shoes, you can get your food, you can get everything you need at Walmart.
hmm
So I'm like, so why am I going over here for somebody to edit my stuff? I'm going over here for them to format it. Then I gotta check with this person for a book cover. And I'm like, hmm. So now I gotta wait on them to do this. And then they might send it back and I don't like it.
hmm
And they might not want to change it because they feel like it's perfect. And to me it's not.
hmm
Or what I told you is not what you delivered. Um, and then you gotta wait 2, 3 more days because not only are they working on your stuff, but they're working on other people's stuff as well.
Right.
So and then you get to the book itself, the manuscript, and they read over it and they say, "Oh, I want to take this out," or "Oh, I want to take that out," and I want you to change the wording like this. No, I want my wording to be my wording. I
hmm
want what I'm doing to be what I'm doing, and I just got to the point, once I went through that whole process, I was so aggravated. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna start my own business. And it's gonna be everything under one roof. You're not gonna have to go across the country to do this. You're not gonna have to wait for this one to do that. Um,
hmm
Everything is in house, and it's actually fun because you help people create what they see through their eyes,
Right.
and it
Right.
makes it so exciting. Even when you're helping them write their manuscript. Yeah, and they don't think about something, and you say, "Well, did you think about putting this part in there?" Or you ask them a question, and then they start writing and writing and writing and writing, and they was like, "Well, I ain't have that much to say," but then you got 10 pages for one chapter because of one question.
Right.
So I wanted something that was going to be more personable. I wanted something that was going to be more one on one. Make sure that you're getting what you want and not what somebody else desires.
Right.
And that was my main focus with studying and learning and making sure that um it can be done, making sure that you have the right to your own copyright because they didn't twist the words and you didn't understand that they didn't twist the words around and now they have the copyright to your book and you
hmm
don't even know. Um so now you have to ask them for permission to do whatever it is you want to do with what you presented and what you created. And I was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're going to make
Yeah.
sure everything is on the up and up. We're going to make sure that what you want to say is what you want to say. How you want it published is how it's going to be published. Your cover is going to look like it needs to look. And not only that, when you finish, we're going to help you get on podcasts. We're going to help you get on stages. We're going to help you after the fact so that you didn't just write the book and now you don't know what to do with it.
Right. Right.
So that was my main focus in creating AL publishing and consulting. So
See, I'm glad that you brought that up because, like I said, like we talked, and I told you, like you're going to be the next person that I reach out to get this book, and it's perfect time to even ask the questions about it because it's like you're there from beginning to the end. And also I guess my question would be, how do you guys help with the marketing aspect? Because I know you said you there, you help them get up on stage and podcasts and things like that. But what about helping them get out into like the market, like Amazon? You know what I'm saying? All of those different areas right there
yeah,
from the
we help with that as well.
okay.
And once you finish going through the one-on-one mentorship with me, I
hmm
actually connect you with a promoter. Um, and they promote your stuff for a whole year.
Ooh.
and all of this is connected with your one-on-one mentorship package. So not only do you have, you know, my experience and the people on my team helping you write your book, and then once it's finished, you get it promoted with the promoter. Her name is Patan.
Mm-hmm.
She promotes your stuff for a whole year, and then you also get in that package a year of financial advice from Leslie Speaks. So you have all of this to help you financially
Mm-hmm.
and help you promote. Well, you're not just doing it by yourself.
Okay.
Um, and then you're on my show, you're on her show, you're steady talking about it, and then we're pushing your stuff into other areas, and we're making sure that you get connected with anybody that doing a podcast on what you wrote about. We're connecting you with those people because I'm always looking at podcasts. I'm always looking for to see what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in your local area, I teach you how to look for people that are looking for speakers to talk about what you're speaking about. Uh, so all of this comes with that package. Because I don't want somebody to feel like I felt. I wrote the book, and then where else do I go? What else do I do? So now that I've learned all the things that you need, I try to supply that for my client.
Okay. Now, with a package, because I know we talked before, right? And you offer a really decent price at doing it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Because most people don't go that route, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like one and done. You have pretty steep price that you have to pay to get that one chapter done. You know what I'm saying? But then you understand that it goes to all of these different areas, right?
Right.
And so like you offer a monthly price, correct?
I do. I do.
Okay, and I don't want to get too far into it because you've already told me one time before, but I guess my question would be like, say for instance, you
Mhm.
know, I want to hire you to do an anthology on the book on the book, right?
Okay.
What would the process be like? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I can go out and get the guys, and I'm saying to come in and do this book, this anthology. You know what I'm saying? What would that process look like to you? I meet with you. You set up meetings, and we come in and talk with you. You kind of explain everything, have a personal relationship with not only myself but the people that we would, so they could feel a little bit more comfortable with you.
Exactly. We do a consultation. I do a consultation with everybody so that I know that I'm a fit for you and you're a fit for me.
Hmm.
So we do that consult, and then from that consultation, then we decide if we're gonna move forward. So
Hmm.
if you say, okay, we want to move forward, we want to go ahead and do the things that to get this book going, to get everything going. So then you would make your down payment, which is only $220 right now, because that fee is about to go up. But anybody that hears this podcast and say that they heard it on your show, they can
Hmm.
actually get it for that $220 because I'm actually adding more things to the bundle. So the
Hmm.
bundle price is going up. Um, but right now, but before December 31st, I mean January 31st, if you get in there, you can get it for the 220 per month. And I'm there with you. So you pay the 220 every month, and I'm there from beginning to end, and we keep going until you say you're tired.
Okay, okay. So I love that. I love that, and thank you for sharing that because I'm really just I'm right there with you. I'm like, yeah, we about to make magic happen and stuff like that because Lacole's out there doing the damn thing, and I'm just a guy out here in the world just trying to figure it out, and I'm just like, you know what? All right, I don't mind being bullied by Lacole for a little bit. We'll see how that works out. Okay, we've already talked about this, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna have to fight. Yeah. That's it. I
Yeah,
mean, not really, because I run.
yeah,
I'm too slow to be running. Okay, so I'm not picking fights with nobody. I can't do it. I can't
yeah.
do it. But no, I think that's phenomenal, right? Because I've worked. I just got done doing my fourth anthology, and I did three of them back to back. And I would tell you, with I, I I would say this, and no disrespect to the people that I'm working with, they're amazing, right? You know what I'm saying? To even give an opportunity like somebody like me to even do something like this, you know what I'm saying? It's truly amazing because I never thought I'd be doing it, you know. But I will tell you, they were pretty doggone expensive. I was like, oh my god, all right, but they made it work, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. Now, you got a copy of your book that you can show people?
Uh, I think I pulled it out. I might have it. Let's see. Yeah, I do.
I love that. My
Yep.
story of overcoming fear. Fear. Where can people find it?
You can find it on my website, and then this is the journal that goes with it. So
Okay,
it comes with
okay.
the journal. Um, and you can find it on my website, lacolesmith.com.
Hmm. All right. And
And
how much
then
would something like that run?
for both, it's 30,
30?
and for just the book is 20. Just the journal is 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
So
get me a signed copy. I'm gonna have to go to your website and be like, Cole is me. Sign and let me know. Because I love the fact that when people come into my office, I got all kinds of books from people that are signed, and they're like, "Who wrote this?" I was like, "My friend, right? I know somebody who did this," and they're like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, And I think that's pretty. I think that is freaking phenomenal. Now, before I let you go, I want to say, I want to ask, how can people find you?
you can find me on social media. Most of my stuff is under AL Publishing and Consulting.
Hmm.
You can find me at A_L_Publishing LLC on Instagram, um, AL Publishing and Consulting on Facebook. You can find me under Lacole Smith. If you just want to see my everyday personal stuff that I have going on, you can follow me on my regular page. Um, for my groups, is Storytelling Unleashed. It's my authors group that I post different things in, resources, um, encouraging things. I post that in that group. And then Motivational Talk, Dialogues, and Show is for my authors and my entrepreneurs as well. And that's where you can see all of the shows that I have. I post them on that platform.
Hmm.
And also information for entrepreneurs that I come across. I put that in that group as well. So
Okay.
that's how you can find me. About to be on YouTube before the end of this month. And a lot of things you can find on my website, lacolesmith.com. I'm revamping my website to um, basically look like it the products that it presents. So
Okay.
I wanted to change it up a little bit. I'm keeping my colors, but I just wanted I wanted to spruce it up a little bit. So just doing a little something different. I'm a Gemini, so I have to change stuff up every now and then.
I understand. Look, I understand. Like, I'm a
Gemini
Leo.
is.
I'm a Leo. My mama was a Gemini. Me and my mama was best of friends. All right, even with those split personalities y'all have and stuff like that. One minute y'all want to be loving, the next minute y'all want to punch us in the throat. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Which one am I talking to right now? Because I'm not.
Exactly,
I ain't trying to get punched
exactly.
in the throat and everything. But now, um, with that being said and everything, I have one question.
Okay.
And I was asked this question probably about a week and some change ago, and I found it to be a very powerful question. And the question is, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Well, my superpower changes from day to day, actually.
That's that Gemini, little indecisive. Depending on whether you want to be invisible, teleport, mental. I mean, do you try to read people's minds? You want to super? What we doing here? What are we doing? Okay,
Well, today I think my superpower is giving people their voice. And
it's powerful.
I feel like so many times people feel like they're being silenced or they're not being heard. So if I had a superpower, I would give everybody the ability to speak what needs to be said without fear or consequences that come along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people they're scared to say something because they fear that they're gonna lose something or they're intimidated by someone. So you know, in 2025, we're just not going to let that happen. We're going to utilize our voice. We're going to make sure that we're saying the necessary things that need to be said. And we're not going to have to deal with any consequences because your voice is your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody should be able to take that from you. The only person that is allowed to take your voice is God. And as long as He allow you to have a voice, I'm going to need you to use your voice.
I love that. I love that. For everybody out there, you heard what she said. You know, her superpower is helping you find your voice. Find your voice. Speak your truth, right? And let everybody know who you are as you begin to grow into the world and manifest yourself. You know, it's
Right.
powerful. It's a powerful walk, and your voice needs to be as powerful as that. Uh, Lacole's information is down below. It is in the YouTube description of the episode. Guys, reach out to her, let her know Tony sent you and everything, and let's
Yeah,
keep rocking 2025. You know, let's keep rocking it because we got a
exactly.
lot of amazing things coming up as well. You guys are gonna keep stay updated on that. So we got, for those that already know, I got the conference coming up in April 2025. We got some hell of presenters coming for you guys. But you guys are going to start seeing a lot of other promo materials. You guys are going to start seeing a lot of resources come out there, that's going to be beneficial for you. So, you guys, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is where it's going to be more beneficial for you to keep up with not only the episodes that we do, but you guys will be able to watch the conference from there. There's a 3-day live stream event. Also on YouTube, which I'm going to do, I mean, also on Rumble. So I'm going to be dropping the links for that as well. But either or. We are going to be streaming across the social media platforms, but let your main focus be over there. And we would love to have you. Love to have you. And for everyone else who have been tuning in, we'll see you guys over there on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. For you guys who have been tuning in, do me a favor if you haven't already, and if you want to, right? Don't be one of those people that come in and hit subscribe and then 5 minutes later hit unsubscribe. You guys mess up my algorithm like that, and you wouldn't want nobody doing that to you. Don't do it to me. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, be fair.
Right.
But go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time that we drop a new episode. But also, most importantly, if you know anyone who can benefit from the conversations that we have, share this
Right.
along with them. Let's hit the word out there. Let's normalize the conversation around death, dying, and grief, and make it more comfortable for us to be able to speak, be supported, find resources, but most
Mhm.
important, find avenues of healing. I want to again thank my guest today, Lacole Smith, for being up here and sharing such a powerful story. If you guys just tuned in and you didn't see the whole story, go back and check it out for me. Right. But while you're there, go back and check out some of those other episodes as well. Got some amazing people up there. And with that being said, we're going to close out this episode of Grief Let's Talk About It podcast. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. As you guys already know, we're on a roll of dropping an episode every day. So more opportunities for you to come in and join in, ask questions, leave comments, and be a part of this amazing movement that we have going on. And so, Lacole, again, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for your knowledge, your wisdom, and for the work that you do, my friend. Thank you
Right.
so very much. And
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
of course, we got to do this again. Definitely got to do this again. You guys are going to see a lot more of her. So you guys stay tuned, right? You guys stay tuned. You guys are going to see. And with that being said, guys, go and enjoy the rest of your day. Love you. Thank you for your support. I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
All right. Bye bye.